Namaste and good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Hope you are well and everything is fine.
Yes, everything is fine. Thank you. And you?
All good. From where you belong, Magda? From which country?
I come from Poland,
Holland. Okay.
but I live in Indonesia.
Okay. Good. Poland is a nice country as well. I have heard about it.
Yeah.
Many. Yeah. I mean, many students from Poland
Uh-huh.
in my teaching field since more than 6-7 years of teacher training.
Really? Great.
Yes. So we will start with our session, and before we start, we would like to chant one Om prayer and Om one time. So I will chant one mantra and then we will all chant Om one time. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much. Wait a second. Namaste and good morning, Johnny. J-O. Yep.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining and would like to ask Johnny, as I'm seeing or watching you for the first time,
Yeah.
all, so is this your first class?
Yeah, today is my first class.
And you from which
I
country?
am from Uttarakhand.
Oh, you're from Uttarakhand, Johnny, and okay, I mean, you're from India, and are you for 200 hours, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, no problem. Because this session is also for the 200 hours anatomy and physiologization.
Okay.
Yes, we will begin now. We have just started, or we have completed in the last week about the digestive system and about the effective yoga postures and techniques which to be done in the right way after performing some of the asanas for the indigestion, some for the constipation, some for the diarrhea as well. We have seen some basic asanas in the last week. Also, we have covered with the respiratory system in deep with the complete structure and the process, and some of the effective asanas for the lungs and the bronchitis and the asthma patients. So now today we will start with the new system, that is our skeletal system. Here we will begin with it. So about the skeletal system, to talk about very basic questions I would like to ask you. Skeletal system made up of? What is the skeletal system made up of?
Bones.
Yes. So the skeletal system made up of the bones here. Unlike we do have how many number of bones in our whole body? 206 number of bones in our whole body we have. Here, without a skeletal with us, we would study all these bones online. At the moment, I don't have the skeletal here, but I'm not in the center present with the Himalayan Yoga. I'm teaching online for you. All the bones you will be studying, all the bone joints you will be studying, and some of the postures for these bone joints problems we will study as well. Here in this skeletal system, as Johnny has told us, like there are the skeletal system made up of the bone, and this bone is made up of 70% of calcium and 30% of protein, carb, minerals. So protein, carb, and minerals. So there is, in short, 70% of calcium ions present in our bones, which makes our bones more stronger and tough. Where there are only 30% of proteins, carbs, and minerals in organic matrix inside these bones. Here in our whole body, there are approximately 206 number of bones. There are 206 number of bones. With these bones, why it is important to need, or what is the need of these bones in our body, or we can say what is the function of these bones in our body? The function, the basic function, the primary function is to create a framework or to provide the structure of the body. So to create framework, that means to provide structure for the body. What else are the functions of the bones? These bones are to protect the organs, to protect the vital organs in our body. So for example, if we have the ribs, if we have the skull, if we have the cranium, we will see all these bones. These are protecting our lungs, brain, all these vital organs respectively. So these bones are there to protect our organs. If there is no cranium, no skull, we would never able to stand on our head or do any headstand posture. Then, what else accordingly? These bones, inside these bones, they do also produce some cells. So the production of the red blood cells, the production of the white blood cells, and the production of the platelets are also being found in the bones. So these bones do produce in the bone marrow as well the production of the red blood cells. That is known as the process of hematopoiesis. We will not go in that much deep here for the 200 hours, but these are the actual functions of the bones here. To create the framework, to provide the structure, to protect our organs, also for the production of blood cells. Namaste, Sheetal. Okay, so we have just started with the skeletal system. Bones made up of the 70% calcium, 30% of the inorganic matrix, proteins, carbs, and minerals. There are 206 number of bones in our body, and the function of these bones is to create the framework, provide structure, and to protect the organs with the production of the blood cells in our whole body. Okay. This up till here, what we have seen is this clear. Just let me know so we can proceed further. May I erase this? Magda, Sheetalji, and Johnny.
Sir, just a minute. Just a minute. Okay, done.
Okay. So these bones are in different shapes and size and in different irregular shapes. These bones are not only made up of the same structure, so these have different irregular shaped bones. They have flat bones, we have small bones, we have long bones, we have irregular type of bones. So these are different kinds of bones like short bones, long bones, flat bones, and irregular bones. We do have in our whole body. Simultaneously with the skeletal system, what else? These 206 number of bones which are found in our whole skeletal system. This skeletal system has two types. So these 206 number of bones which are found in our skeletal system are being divided into two types. What are these two types? That is axial skeletal system and one is appendicular skeletal system. So one is axial skeletal and the other is appendicular skeletal. What does it mean by axial skeletal system? So the axial skeletal system is what? When all the bones which are present, I'm speaking about the axial, which are present in one axis of the body. That means if we have studied like on the day one about the section of our body has divided into 5 sections: head, neck, trunk, upper limbs and lower limbs. So the bones which are present in our head, neck and trunk in one axis, in one line, that bones are the part of the axial skeletal system. I repeat, the bones which are present in one axis, that means in our head. So head is what? Our cranium, our facial, all in our ears. So all this is our head portion above. Then we have the neck region, the neck portion, and we have the trunk. So what is this trunk? That means our torso, abdomen, upper back, and lower back. So all these bones which are present in one line are to be known as the axial skeletal system. Now, can you tell me about the appendicular? Anyone?
Appendicular, other than the head, whole body.
Yes. So, other than the head, neck, and the trunk, the bones which are present in our upper limbs, so that is in our arms, and the bones which are present in our lower limbs, that are our legs. Also, the bones which connect our arms to the axial skeleton, and also the bones which connect our legs to the axial skeleton. That means our pelvic and pectoral are the part of appendicular skeletal system. So apart from our head, neck, and whole trunk, the bones which are present in our arms and legs, and the bones which connect our arms and legs to the axis or the axial skeleton is known as appendicular skeletal system here. Okay. Is this clear or shall I repeat one more time? I hope it is clear.
Please explain the appendicular again.
Yes. So we have the bones like in our arm. The arm, if you will see my arm, here is at this side. So the bones which are in our arms and in our legs are all known as appendicular skeleton. But if you will see this arm is connected to the axis of the body. So this arm is connected somewhere. So what are these bones? Those bones which connect our arm to the axis, to the midline of the body, here at the shoulder joint. Then that bones are also the part of appendicular skeletal system. So for example, our legs, consider our legs. Then if legs are the part of appendicular skeletal system, Then the legs are also connected at the pelvic joint. That pelvic joint helps these legs to connect to the axis of the body. So like if we separate or split our legs, that is what our pelvic region is what which connects our legs to our trunk. So to this trunk where our arms and legs are connected, these bones are also the part of appendicular skeleton.
Trunk
that-
mean
Trunk means our this whole region, the section of the torso, the
ribs,
section of
ribs.
not only the ribs. So the rib section above the diaphragm is the torso, our upper region. This is our torso.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So trunk means we have this head, this region, the shaded region is whole trunk.
Okay, okay.
And then we have this arm and legs. Okay,
Yeah,
got
yeah,
it now? Yeah.
yeah, got
So
it.
this is our head, neck, and trunk, where we have the torso in the above section, we have the abdomen in the below section. Similarly, at the back, upper back and lower back. This everything makes up our trunk. And to this trunk, like a tree trunk, there are the branches. So what are these branches? Upper limbs and lower limbs. So these are the branches of the trunk, our hands and legs.
Okay.
Yes.
And teeth is also bone.
Which one?
Teeth.
Teeth is not a bone.
But it
Our
looks
teeth
like a
are-
bone.
Yes, it looks like a bone. It is made up of the dentine, which is the hardest substance. It looks like a bone. Teeth is not a part of the bone here.
Okay.
Teeth are made up of the dentine. These bones are made up of the calcium ions with the proteins and minerals inside. So dentine is what the hardest substance, but it's not a bone. It is a bone-like structure. Okay. Now, we will start with the axial skeletal system. First, we will figure it out. Where are the bones? How are they located in the axial skeletal system? Speaking about the axis, first, at number A, I will write down the region head. So in the head section, the subtype, I will write down the cranium section. So at the first, as a child or as a baby or as an infant or in the children, there are many number of bones. There are here many number of bones as a child. That means approximately we do have 300 bones in our whole body. But as we grow up and as we become adult, this is the average number of bones in an adult. So these bones, where do they go? They are just fused together. But at the beginning, these bones are all separated. Small, tiny bones which are just growing, which are in the process of the bone cells with the osteoclast. So there are certain bone cells which we will not go in deep in this course. These matured bone cells in the maturity period fuse together and make up the 206 number of bones in our body. Now, in our cranium as well, that means in our skull, in our top of the head, there are how many number of bones makes up our cranium? There are 8 fused bones. I repeat, there are 8 fused bones in our cranium. So, speaking about the cranium, these are fused together. That means they cannot move. Once they are fused together, the bones which are not moving at all the joints. For example, if you will see our arm, it is moving. That means we can move the bone joint in between the upper arm and in between the elbow. But we cannot move our bone joints in between our head, in between our face, or there are some axial skeletal bones which you will see. So these are fused together that helps to protect the internal organs. If these bones will move, we can damage our brain as well. So these bones are God gifted, which we have got fused together. Okay, in the axial skeletal, the head region. In this cranium now, we have the first, we will see the side section of the cranium only, which bones are difficult to understand. That bones I will draw it over here to make it simple for you to understand. This is the side view of a human. I hope it looks like a human. My drawing is not so good here, but here is the frontal bone. So the bones in our cranium. Then we have a small, this is a side view, this plate, which is just placed behind the eye. That plate is known as ethmoid bone. Then we do have inside at the middle section, one single bone placed in between the ethmoid at the center. That bone is known as the sphenoid bone. Can you see the whiteboard clearly, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Then we do have the temporal and the parietal bone. So we'll change the color of the marker only for the temporal and the parietal bone. So the bone in this section in a dotted line, I am been showing with the red dot, where the bone above, I am showing with the red line. This is known as the parietal bone, and this one is known as the temporal bone. We will see how are they eight. The bone, if you will see it behind, in at the back of our head in the black line. This one single bone is known as occipital bone. Now, the bones which I have shown in the black or with the help of the black marker, these are one single bone. So we have one occipital bone, one frontal bone, one ethmoid bone, one sphenoid bone. But the bones which we have shown with the red pen are two. So we have two parietal bones at two sides and two temporal bones at two sides. First, have a look on this diagrammatic representation. You can draw it quickly in your notes as well. The more it will go through your hand, the more you will able to know it by yourself. I will explain you now. So here, as you will see, this is your frontal region. Frontal region means your forehead. This your forehead is all the frontal bone completely. This is one single bone. There are not any bone connected here other than the frontal. So this is only one single bone. This is not separated. But below the frontal bone, here if you will see the eyes, these eyes are placed in a small curved plate. So we have the curvy plate where our eyes are placed. This curvy plate is one single plate behind our two eyes. That plate of a bone is known as the ethmoid bone. We have one single ethmoid plate behind our eye below the frontal bone. Okay. Now, at the center, here in between, behind the ethmoid plate, we have the sphenoid bone. This sphenoid bone is what? For or inside that sphenoid bone, in a brain, in a cavity, we find the pituitary gland, and we do also have the hypothalamus and thalamus. So there are some tissues and organs inside it, inside the sphenoid bone cavity. So that gland is why I am using this word pituitary gland, even if you may not know what is pituitary gland, because this gland is the most important, which controls all the other glands in our body. So that all the hormones, I mean, consider all the hormones in our body, this is controlled inside or with this bone in a small cavity. We have a pituitary gland in the center as well. Now, speaking about the occipital bone first, this is also one single bone. Here at the back of our head, we have just one single bone. Whole one single bone is known as occipital bone. Then the temporal bones are two. We have the two-sided section of the head. So this side temporal bone is one, and the other side, these are known as tempos. So there are two temporal bones in our head section. And what is the parietal? You will see the hole where you do your head stand, which protects the vital organ, our brain. So this is our parietal section. This is our all parietal section. This is fused. So these bones are fused like a parietal. It's one and two parietal bones at the top of our head.
So where does pineal gland exist?
Yeah.
Pineal gland.
Sorry, your
I'm
voice is
asking,
not.
I'm asking about pineal gland. Where does it exist? Temporal or that
In between the small cavity. In between the small cavity inside the sphenoid bone as well. Pineal gland is not so far in between. So it exists a pituitary gland.
so
near
the
Mhm.
I'm asking these glands these glands are muscle.
These glands are tissue, glandular tissue, epithelial tissue. So we have given these cells, tissues, organs. So this is like we started like long time back, 2 weeks before.
Okay.
So we have this gland. It is not a muscle, that is an organ which plays an important role to maintain our body hormones, all the hormones, to balance our all the hormones. For example, sugar, insulin, glucose, thyroid hormones, adrenaline. All it is controlled with these glands. Important, like a monitor.
Organ you mean like liver, a kidney, like this? Same as a pituitary gland. Organ.
No. Liver is not producing any hormone. To balance the function of these organs, these glands are being present in our body. So we
Okay.
have, yes. So these organs will function properly due to this hormonal balance in our body produced by these glands. For example, if thyroid will produce its hormones, so thyroid has given signals, or the thyroid gets the signals from the pituitary gland. This is a part of endocrine system. Actually, we are not
Okay.
studying an endocrine system now.
How
But just to
it
tell,
looks? Will you draw the pituitary gland or something, the gland,
no,
how
no,
it
no.
looks?
No, I will not draw because we are studying skeletal system, Johnny. If we will
Okay.
study endocrine system, that time we have to learn, or we
Okay,
will
okay.
break the link
Okay.
for the rest of the students as well. So this recorded session here. So pituitary gland, just below the thymus, hypothalamus, these things I will speak it better in endocrine system when we will study it. Here we are just saying the skeletal system, that is the bones. Okay. So now have you got it, the rest of the people, that we have these 8 bones? Have you counted that? You have seen 8 number of bones here. Then if yes, let me know yes or no, and we will proceed further. Okay. Can I read now?
Yes.
Yes.
I have one
Okay.
question more
Yes.
about you draw the frontal bone. So the third eye exists there. What's the third eye? It's also gland or something.
Third eye. Where have you heard this word third eye first? You tell me, Johnny. So
Uh, uh,
third eye, is it a physical part of the body or the subtle part of the body?
we can't see, but it exists in our head, I think. So
Yes.
it's a
So
gland or
if
tissue. What's the thing? The third eye, the concept. What's that?
see, if that thing which we cannot see, that part becomes the subtle body part. For example, if you have heard this word third eye, and if we are saying third eye as a gland or something, no. In anatomy and the physiology, this is the science. So in science, the things which we can see with our eyes, that we study in the depth. In subtle body anatomy, the things like nadis, energy channels, prana, and the chakras which are being located. This is which we cannot see with our naked eye, but only by seeing by those yogis who have developed psychic vision.
Mhm.
So this is so much different. So third eye is considered to be the part of the chakra. So we have the third
Okay.
eye chakra. It is not a gland, but our subtle body anatomy is what? When we work on our third eye, that means we can work on our pineal gland directly, indirectly. So
Mhm.
working on the pineal gland directly is with the help of this science. People do take some medicines if they do not fall asleep properly. There are some pills of melatonin hormone to fall asleep because pineal gland produce this hormone. Actually, I should not say this. This is skeletal system we are watching. Just you ask, so I have to say.
Okay.
But if we will work directly on the third eye chakra, for those people who believe in spirituality but follow the science, in eating some pills and producing the hormone melatonin, it can be also get away. So they fall a good sleep, the melatonin hormone is produced properly. This is what subtle body anatomy connected with the science. So spirituality with the science, this is all connected. Okay.
Okay.
So third eye is not what? The gland, I will say. It is pineal gland that we can see with our naked eye. Third eye, which we cannot see with our naked eyes, we have to accept we are not a yogi. We have to accept honestly ourselves that we are the yoga practitioner, yoga teacher, maybe a yoga student forever our life. So that which we can see, we can practice. We
We
have
will
to
not
honest.
we will not think that we are yogis.
Depends. We have to be honest. If we are, or if you are, can you see my chakras, or can you tell which is my nadi? blocked, or where is my prana flowing, where it is blocked. If I will ask like these people, and if they can't able to tell, then how can we decide them as a yogi? Or even for me, if you people will ask me, okay, sir, you can tell me about the color of the chakra. Can I see the color of your chakra, Johnny?
No. But the
No.
yogis can see.
So this is what I am saying you, that Siddhi is developed inside the yogi, that Kundalini is raised completely. So these yogis develop the psychic vision, and this psychic vision allows them. So that is a different study, Nadi Parikshan. Nadi Parikshan is what? A different, complete depth study. This is not a program like 20 days, 30 days. So it is self-practice, like a
Okay.
Reiki, Nadi Parikshan, where these yogis, great yogis, could learn and can also see with their naked eyes our subtle body and could treat as well
So
with the help of.
from your course we just got the path, the actual path, how we that after we work on ourselves, or we know who we are, what are the purpose of our life, or something, that why we born.
Yes, from our course, we will not only from our course, the courses which are being given from the whole world,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
will
yeah.
also get from the Yoga Alliance this much only. Because even the people from the Yoga Alliance cannot see these chakras and nadis. I am honest with that. So even the people who are sitting in the US, big company, a business company, a Yoga Alliance.
Okay.
This is, so we are just teachers who have been learning these things from many years and years and sharing the parts of this or the knowledge with you. So everyone just teach. With the help of self-practice, you could get it maybe in 1 month, 1 year, maybe one life is not enough to get that self-realization about yoga and about the Kundalini, how it is raised up. Okay, we have just 5 minutes left. We will proceed more further. So instead of learning about the next bones now, cranium and the facial skeleton, we will directly move on towards the ear bones, because that I can complete in this 5 minutes. Now, in our head section, first we have seen the cranium. Now the next, what else we will see? The auditory ossicles. Auditory ossicles are the tiniest bones in our whole body. Write down these things. I will speak it very slowly. So auditory ossicles, that means the bones in our ear, are the tiniest bones in our whole body. So where are these auditory ossicles present in our whole body? In our ear, behind the eardrum. So if you will see your eardrum, where it is located, if you will know it, so behind that eardrum, there are auditory ossicles, which are these 3 tiny bones in each ear. So there are total 6 auditory ossicles in our ears. There are total 6 auditory ossicles in our both ears. In each ear, 3. The names of these auditory ossicles are incus, malleus, and stapes. The names of these auditory ossicles are incus, malleus, and stapes, where incus is connected to malleus, malleus is connected to the stapes, and the stapes is connected more inside in a small cavity towards the brain. What is the role of these tiny bones The role of these bones, I will say, you can write it down, is to transmit and amplify the sound fallen on the eardrum. It carries it towards the brain. I repeat, to transmit and amplify the sound fallen on the eardrum, it carries inside of the brain these three tiny bones. Okay, if we will get the damage to these tiny bones, it is not damaged mostly, but very rarely these tiny bones can be damaged in an accident, or the people who do play these sports like boxing or the boxers. So when they hit the face, they have the guard, but that force may damage the auditory ossicle bone, which can make them deaf partially. So these are what? The bones present in each ear. Got it?
Yes,
Yes or no?
yes, yes.
Okay. So we have 6 auditory ossicles. That means two incus, 2 malleus, and 2 steps. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, like this, 6 auditory ossicles. The rest about the facial skeletal, about the rest of the axial skeletal system which we are watching, we will see it tomorrow. Okay,
Okay.
we will end this session by just one Om chant. Or do you have any question?
No, no, no.
Okay, so let's chant one Om, keeping your back and spine straight and eyes closed. Take a long breath, inhale and chant it one time. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much. And Hari Om. See you tomorrow. Thank you. I will end up the meeting now. Magda, Johnny, and Shitaji. See you everyone for the rest of the people as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.